Today's video, we're going to talk about Google Ads for cleaning businesses, commercial and residential leads in the hundreds per month. Okay, I'm going to talk about a cleaning business we're running right now. It's a city in one of the bigger metro areas in the US. How we generated close to 200 leads a month and still currently are generating close to 200 leads a month for that business just by running Google Ads and in the way that I'm going to talk about in today's video. I will go over the techniques there, but more importantly, if you stay through and to the end of this video, I'll tell you about the cost per lead for the different traffic sources through and with the Google Ads campaign that you can run for your business as well as its predicted return and the return we're getting for our ad campaigns, given we track the ROI on any lead generation campaign we run at our business because we use it to steer the ads, and that's where the real money with Google Ads is as well. And I'll talk about how to actually do that for your business as well, on top of everything else. If you want to know how to actually generate tons and tons of leads at least a 6-to-1 return on your ad spend, where you're getting $6 in revenue for every dollar you're spending, which is really return is much greater than that when you consider effects on your organic traffic that running a big ad campaign on Google is going to give you, referrals, and so forth. I'm going to give you all of that in today's video. So if you're trying to run any kind of Google Ads for your cleaning company, this is information you cannot miss. Before I get into the content though, if you do not know who I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, we do not charge our clients management fees until we can get them a certain minimum lift in their profitability, basically in excess of the management fees that we charge. We are the only agency out there who offers any kind of similar guarantee, which will tell you something about the quality of the information that's on this particular video. So with that said, getting into the content here. Now, the main thing here is that if you really want to get results out of Google Ads and get the results that I'm talking about here, you got to learn how to run SKAG campaigns, single keyword ad group campaigns, in other words, where you're targeting lots of keywords and you're writing individual ads and individual landing pages for each keyword that you're targeting, which a lot of you guys are like, whoa. I didn't sign up for work like this, Corey. I want to make the millions without having to put in that work. Well, when you're talking about Google Ads, it's you against the other cleaning companies in the area. You cannot not say to yourself, every other single company in your local market wouldn't want these leads from Google Ads if they could get them, right? And it's not just because they're not willing to spend $1 to get $6. It's just they don't know how to do it. The reality is not everybody's going to do it because there's only so many ad spots at the top of Google. And the people who advertise the best with the best strategy is going to be able to afford to be there, and everybody else in your market can't. And that's the bottom line. And Google is going to give preferable treatment to the people who have the best click-through rates and best conversion rates. Well, you don't have to be an ad genius. You just have to understand how to be more relevant than other people in your market by having different ads and different landing pages for different people how they search so that they're getting a catered experience. And because, the main thing, I love strategies that work and that are hard to do because that means my competitors are not going to do it. I want it to be hard so that as soon as, my competition sees that I'm doing it, they don't copy it right away. Even if I sent this video to your competitors, surely they watch this video, they're going to drop off and say, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that. They're not going to do it anyway because people convince themselves stuff doesn't work when they're too lazy to do things. I mean, that's how the human nature works. So for that matter, just putting the work in to be better for the end consumer that you're advertising to give them a catered message for what they were looking for is all you need to be able to make tons and tons of money and with Google Ads and be able to afford to be at the top of Google. Have Google prefer to run your ads for all the people that they can, higher up in the list, bigger at the whole shebang, give you amazing returns because their idea of an ideal situation for them is to find the 2 or 3 or 4 companies that advertise the best to their users, that give them the best experience and just only run them, screw everybody else. That's the way that it's set up today because that gives the best experience to their users and makes it so people want to come back to Google and click on things in the future. So you either have to step up your game and be the top 2 or 3 or 4 guys when in a cleaning services market, there's going to be 10 plus people cycling in and out of those spots in any kind of decent sized population area. So you're either going to go all the way with it or not at all, and it's not worth it, basically. Literally speaking, you could just set up a catered experience for different people and win by default because your competition's not going to do it. Now, You could watch my other videos about how to set up single keyword ad group campaigns. I'm not going to go into detail in this particular video how to do that because it's a video in and itself. But the main thing I talk about on those videos is how to find not just the 10 or 20 keywords to target in your niche, but what are the 200 keywords, 500 keywords in your market to target. So you literally can have a laser targeted ad for every single person who searches in your market, not just some of them, not just half-ass it and be kind of relevant for your user, giving them exactly what they want. And so that when your ad shows up at the top of Google, it stands out as the most relevant one to click on. And when they click on it, they don't feel like they're bait and switched, and you send them to your damn homepage or a generic page on your website that talks about everything. They got exactly what they were advertised to in the ad. That's the most efficient way to run the ads by far, to the point where you're going to make 5-10 times as much money doing it that way versus the average way, which is to target 10 or 20 keywords with 1 or 2 ads, sending them all to the same page, and that's it. Fortunately for you, though, I've done the heavy lifting here to show you the type of keywords that work. And then all you got to do is set up unique ads around these general keyword buckets, put your unique ads together for each one, landing pages for each one, and then you'll make the kind of returns we're talking about here, if you will. When I say target keywords that have cleaning lady in it, I mean typing cleaning lady into Google Keyword Planner, finding all the variations of cleaning and lady together, and target all those terms individually, just to be clear here. Okay, so, but with that said, I'm going to go through the different keyword buckets that you're going to want to target and how profitable or less profitable they are. So you understand how you want to go about doing this, because if you want a higher return, if you don't want a 6-to-1 return on your ad spend, you could say, I want a 10-to-1 return on my ad spend, and you could do it by targeting some of these versus all of them. Realistically, a 6-to-1 return on your ad spend directly is more like a 10-to-1 when you factor in, being able to spend 10 grand a month on Google Ads or something like that, and its direct effect on your organic rankings, your map rankings, and that contributing to the overall return on investment you're going to get, from having run the ads, as well as referrals. So a 6-to-1 is more like 10 to 12-to-1 in reality. Okay, so you can take my word for it, or don't take my word for it and just run part of these, get a part of the results, and leave the other results to somebody else, I guess. So with that said, I'm going to go through these one by one, starting with residential cleaning. So keywords related to residential cleaning, residential cleaners. We found we'll get a cost per lead right around $30 for this particular client that we're working with now, which I've worked with several cleaning companies now, and I know this isn't like a one-off type thing. These are numbers that you could pretty much bank on, okay? So, and then with the ROAS, or return on ad spend, where you take how much revenue divided by the ad spend it took to get it, at a 6.2 ratio on those keywords, okay? I'm going to do the same two numbers here for every one of these other keyword buckets. Office cleaning. For that particular keyword, like office cleaning, office cleaners like that, $116 a lead, but a 14.1 ROAS, or return on investment. So why is this so high? Well, I can tell you right off the bat, going commercial is more profitable than going after residential, because the lifetime value of a customer is so great. That is, if you know how to hold on to clients long term. You can get a contract, you could get contracts to renew, okay? The other reason why it's higher is because the return doesn't come for a long time. Any business you get into where the return is more immediate, you'll get less of a return because people are willing to spend more to get the customer because they want instant gratification. In a market where you've got to wait 3, 4, 5 years for the return from that customer to come in, you'll get higher than average returns because there's less people out there willing to run business where it takes 3 years to get their money back from their advertising spend. So that's mainly why, though. So you have that, and then house cleaning as a keyword here. Going back to residential, $62 a lead, 4.7 ROAS. Commercial cleaning, like I mentioned before, you're going to get better returns there if you're willing to wait for the money to come into the bank eventually. $155 a lead, so much higher than the residential leads, but much higher return as well, 11.9. And we're able to track this, by the way, too, because we integrated our ad campaign with our CRM system. So not only should you import revenue into your ad account to steer your ads with, because that's going to make you way more money doing it that way, even though it might be challenging to set up initially for yourself and maintain it. You also, in your CRM system, want to track all the leads that come in, phone calls and form fills, so that they go automatically to your CRM through means of a Zapier account or something like that with the source of the lead, so that you can run a report on an ongoing basis at any time saying, here's the lifetime revenue from all the Google ads we've ever ran. So I could take that divided by my ad spend that I've spent lifetime and see my total return on investment and know if I'm on track with my ads overall itself, as well as understanding what my return on investment is for different campaigns. Because for each one of these buckets, I recommend setting up a different campaign. You can have the campaign linked with the lead as it comes in your CRM, and you can run a report and say, what's the total revenue from any job or any client that came in that has this campaign name tied to it. And that's important because when you import revenue back into Google Ads, you can only track sales up to 90 days. But in your CRM, you can track it up for the lifetime of that client or account. So you want to actually track it in both. Move-in cleaning, $24 a lead, 9.4 ROAS. Now, anytime you're going to get more niche, the return's going to be bigger because there's less people targeting it. Half or more of the advertisers that are going to try advertising in the cleaning space are going to be damn lazy. They're going to try to target cleaning companies, cleaning services, just the generic stuff. And with one size fits all approach, one ad, one landing pages for all of it, when you come in with a unique ad and landing page combination for somebody looking for move-in cleaning, your cost per lead goes way down because you're going to have a much higher click-through rate premium over your competition in that case, and you're going to end up getting a much greater benefit from Google as a result. So and people are going to be more likely to convert when they get to your site and they see move-in cleaning and then the price versus we do cleaning, hire us, which is dumb. And nobody wants that experience, including you. You do not want to go to a website when you're searching for black boots and get to a homepage that says boots for sale here. But I mean, come on, let's admit it. You don't want to put the work in or admit to yourself how important this is to market to your consumers this way. So you do it however you damn want. But at the end of the day, people want what they want. And the more you get into the user's shoes of what they actually want, the more you're going to make. Bottom line, end of story. You can try all these hacks and whatnot. At the end of the day, the golden rule is whatever helps the user more makes more money. Move out cleaning. Okay, on the opposite side, $13 a lead is what we had, not 131. I don't know why I put 131 here. $13 a lead, 8.7 ROAS here. Post remodeling cleaning services, $55 a lead, 12.4 ROAS. Deep cleaning itself, $78 a lead, 13.5 ROAS. So this is one that kind of stands out as, an incredible return because you're going to have bigger jobs when people are looking for deep cleaning. It's not your standard thing. That, and also with the post remodeling, there's very little competition and it's a bigger job. So they're kind of in a sweet spot. Big job size, low competition. Apartment cleaning, $111 a lead, 3.5 ROAS. So why is the return on investment on this so crappy, which you may just cut out from what you're doing altogether? Well, my opinion here, it's clearly because people with apartments, they're smaller, so there's a smaller job size, and it's still fairly competitive. It's a keyword a lot of people would still think of to bid on, so it drives up the cost per lead as well. So a high cost per lead for a lower job size itself. Also, I want to also say people that are searching for apartment cleaning, they're searching for apartment cleaners for a business, like they're looking to outsource it for their apartment complex. And I think the traffic itself is a mixed bag. So I think that's the reason why, mainly there, in addition to what I said. Affordable/cheap. So affordable cleaning services, cheap cleaning services. Most people would stay away from those because they don't want cheapskates. However, you got to put things into perspective. When you import the revenue that you're generating from your jobs back into Google Ads, and the algorithm is optimizing on the level of profit versus cost per lead or going for cheap leads, you actually optimize for what's just generating profit bottom line. And that can go both ways. I always talk about how the cheapest leads are never the most profitable ones. Yes, okay? But cheap leads can also be profitable too if they're cheap enough. It's all just in terms of value. What is the lead worth? And you don't know if you don't track it. When people are looking for cheap services and you got all these people staying away from it, the cost per lead is less because the cost per click is less. And your return on investment actually turns out to not be so bad because you're paying 20-ish bucks a lead versus 60. Before I continue here, just so that you know, if you want to just hire somebody to do this and get a guaranteed return on it, just reach out to me at my agency and I'll set it all up for you for essentially for free, considering the return you're going to get is going to offset what we charge in terms of setting things up, because we offer a guarantee of performance on our campaigns. I'm more than happy to do that for you as well, so long as you're in a market big enough where we can offset our management fee by the volume of business we're going to bring in. If you're interested in that, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I also have ad templates available. So if you want to do it yourself, I can give you the template and you utilize it for yourself. We also offer that as well, which is basically a business in a box, because once you have your hands on this template and it's installed correctly, you could sub out the work and still make money. I mean, just because you have your hands on the most valuable part of the business, which is the optimized ad campaign. Or if you just want some quick help, you can reach out to me. I do coaching and consulting as well. I can coach you through your problems you're having. And if you don't have enough leads, the leads are too expensive, whatever your problem is, I can help you get to the next stage in your business by identifying where the bottlenecks are, whether it's your pricing strategy or lead handling, your ad copy, whatever the problem actually is. So if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at my firm as well at guaranteedppc.com. Going forward here, cleaning company, cleaning service. So this is the generic cleaning companies, cleaning services, those type of keywords. Okay, these are the most competitive keywords, they're the most obvious ones. Therefore, your cost per lead is going to be higher, $139 a lead, and your return is going to be lower because your cost per lead is higher, 3.9 on the return. Cleaning lady. So people typing in cleaning ladies for hire, stuff like that. Which, to be clear here, when you target keywords, it shouldn't just be like cleaning or whatever. It should be cleaning service, cleaning companies, post remodeling cleaners, cleaning companies, like that, to get the best results. Not to say that ultimately somebody can't type in post remodeling cleaning and you can't make money on that. You at least target the buying version of the keywords and then let the algorithm kind of go and run your ads for a little bit outside of that general list of keywords you have. And you filter in the revenue data to optimize your ads, and the algorithm will figure out what part of the fringe keywords where they're typing in like post remodeling cleaning is profitable, which part of it's not for that particular keyword, and then basically find the part that's profitable and then have your ad just run for that. And if you're using revenue-based tracking, you can do that. Cleaning lady, $40 a lead, 7.5% ROAS. Okay, so as you can see here, the cost per lead actually varies a lot based upon what type of keywords you're talking about, the competition level, what the job size is likely worth. Bigger job sizes, more cost per lead. Less competitive keyword, less cost per lead. So those are the two main factors that affect your cost per lead. And your ROI is mainly affected also by job size, mostly, but also what the cost per lead is. So with that said, this particular client that we work with, that I pulled all these most recent numbers for, they're generating 170 leads a month from this campaign right now in a larger metro area and paying $52 a lead on average between all these keywords, 35 new clients a month for the last 30 days, where I pulled this data, and a 6.3 ROAS overall. So a 6 ROAS is good enough for this particular client to where we would run everything. Like I said, in your situation, maybe you just run part of the keywords because you want an 8 or a 9. The higher the ROAS you expect, the less volume you're going to get. And there's a sweet spot in there where you make the most profit. And this is the type of thing they teach in business school, how to figure out, like product pricing, where your product price, as it goes up, you get less volume. Where's maximum point of profitability? Well, you got to figure that out. Same thing applies with how aggressive you run your ads. How much you're willing to pay for a lead. The more you're willing to pay for a lead, the more leads you get, but the less the ROI gets. But that shows you really, really clearly what you would want to target and how. You still have to know the mechanics behind this in order to set up your SKAG campaigns correctly, your landing pages correctly. The best thing I can tell you, if you don't hire our agency, which you don't have to, is to subscribe to this channel, because all the information you need to know how to set up the best campaigns in your market by a factor of 2 or more is just to follow the information on this channel. And so you should subscribe, and you should check some of my old videos out about how to set up search campaigns and so forth. So if you haven't subscribed already, you should. You're getting information from somebody who has 20 years of advertising experience and spends 40 hours a week doing ad strategy at our firm as my full-time job. I also have a great blog on my site at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where you can see step-by-step how I actually set up our campaigns here, the way that we use it to guarantee results for clients at our firm. with screenshots, with the whole shebang. So if you like the channel, you should definitely check the blog out as well, because it has just as good, if not even better, information on the same topics as I talk about here, but go more in depth on how to set the things up. If you have any questions about anything I covered here, by the way, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. You can ask me any marketing related question for that matter. I don't care. I'm more than happy to give back, and just as a way of saying thank you for watching the channel and helping the channel grow. For that matter, here, anything that runs on Google makes money. Run it on Bing/Microsoft, it'll make you an extra 20% more. Once you start making money that way, you can start running display ads itself. I'm gonna run ads on YouTube, Facebook, offering a free cleaning, so on and so forth. And that's gonna be able to make me a ton of money in and itself as well, okay? Yes, you may not wanna give away a free cleaning, but what we found in addition to this is if you run a free cleaning ad in markets where you're at super high income itself and they don't need the free cleaning, you offer them a free cleaning and you have a good salesperson that can come in and upsell them, it's actually, you can make the numbers work. Or at least give them a 50% off cleaning. That way you're not losing money if they take the free cleaning and not use it. And that's the other way to go. For me, I'm gonna try the free cleaning. I'm just gonna find the most ideal customer possible and just give it to them for free. And then try to close 20% of them on a 1-year contract or 6 months contract or something like that. But all of that in general goes over what I would specifically do in your case for your cleaning company to set up and get the kind of results we're getting at our firm. Cleaning companies now and the past with several different ones as well. With that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you for watching.
Remember when I said Google Ads campaign was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.